This? Badge lost in the gutter of the factory during Hans Rickman's scuffle. Best thing I got. Show it. Take a look at his badge. Look familiar? I don't believe it. Where'd you get that? Use the vision to find it here. It's a remnant of what happened 34 years ago. Tell me more. When Hans Rickman was fighting with the other four, his badge slipped out of his jacket pocket. Dad promised to give me this badge someday. Maybe he was waiting for the right time. Like after he got all the money for himself. But he might not want to believe it, but that's how it really happened. Even if what you're saying is true, why wasn't this ever made public? Clockford PD sealed all information pertaining to this case. Higher-ups on the force didn't want the fact that one of their own was a criminal to leak, so they wouldn't have to take responsibility. Exactly. Regardless of whether your version is true or not, it doesn't change the fact that I love my father very much. And it doesn't change the years of hell my mother and I went through after Baslock. The entire world was against us. Jay, I want you to recall something I taught you in the criminal psychology. Most atrocious of crimes are oftentimes done by an unfeeling psychopath. An unfeeling psychopath is someone who feels no remorse. These people share something significant in their early childhood, Jay. Do you remember what that is? They're most often raised in a dysfunctional family environment. That's right. For the vast majority, that's true. Instead of love and nurturing, they are often victims of parental abuse and neglect. Is that what you went through? Absolutely. My father's death got to my mother. Anxiety, depression, passed away soon after. I was sent to an orphanage after that. It was horrible. Still can't think about it. I still can't think about it. My only wish was to someday grow up and live alone. And once that wish had finally come true, I'd already become the affectionless psychopath that I am today. They say a psychopath can commit horrendous crimes without any sense of remorse. That's correct. When I become one myself, I became obsessed with studying the criminal mind. How do you think someone like that would mix with a desire to avenge his dead father? Not too well. Guess that's what led to the Providence murders. That's right. Really quite a fascinating story, isn't it? And now the circle's about to be completed to bring the Providence murders to a close. Before I kill you, I'd like to grant you one final wish. You're dying to ask me something before I send you to hell, aren't you? I'll allow you a little time for final questions. How did you kill, or didn't you get, how did you kill the 4 victims? How did you kill those 4 people 19 years ago? You'd be surprised how easily the human mind can be manipulated, Jay. How often the opportunity to commit a crime will present itself. I just happened to meet someone in a bar 19 years ago. He was completely drunk and was spouting off old stories about himself. His name was Lenny Garrett, aka Sam Coolidge. As he was telling me about his past, I soon realized it was the Baslock incident he was talking about. Couldn't believe my luck to be sitting on a bar stool next to this man. He would answer all my questions about Baslock as if it was nothing. He even told me about the people he did it with and how much money they got. He was even stupid enough to tell me they killed a police officer in the process. That's what gave you the idea? Of course, you don't think I would squander the chance of a lifetime for perfect revenge, don't you? After that, I began to look into every aspect of the lives of those responsible for Baslock. Thought of the ultimate punishment for those who murdered my father. Drawing up that plan was more fulfilling than you can imagine. I was going for the perfect crime, Jay. Plan was to break them down gradually with threats, and to take their lives without getting a drop of blood on my hands, but making them kill each other. Precisely. To remind them of what they did in the past. Sent each one an envelope from Baslunk Jewelry. Also sent all 4 of them a dollar bill as a symbol of the cash they stole. Next, I sent them all an Eye of Providence from the dollar bill, which eventually became the signature of the murders. And then came the finishing touch. I sent a threatening letter to them, but signed their names instead of mine. One to Charles from Sam, one to Isabella from Charles, and one to Duke from Isabella. You messed with their heads, made them paranoid enough to kill each other. That's right. Remember, they all knew each other from the crime they committed? It was easy to stir up panic between them. A few threats was all it took. Through manipulation, I was able to change those feelings of panic into the intent to kill. It was quite a fascinating experiment, really. Experiment? Yes. My experiment seemed to be working like a charm. 19 years ago, everyone thought that Providence was a psychopathic killer of my invention. Murdered those 4 victims in a spate of serial killings. I designed it so that the killer would end up the next victim. Everything went according to plan, and the investigators couldn't touch me. No suspect was ever found, and all that remained was the fear of Providence. But there was one man. Someone who discovered those killings were the fruit of my experiment. Didn't you get your revenge by killing those 4 people? Of course I did. But there was an unexpected development. That's what I find thrilling about a life of crime. It was a lot of fun dealing with that. Unexpected development? Oh, you're a piece of shit. Yes, which is why my killing spree didn't end at 4. I had to alter my initial plan as a result. But I was able to observe how a chain of killings unfolds. And you're responsible for that chain. Perhaps I am. You said someone found out that you were behind the Providence murders. Who was that? Professor Baker. Your father, Jay. No. I had a lot of respect for that man. I learned the fundamentals of criminal psychology from him, and I helped him with his research as well. But there was one thing that I couldn't understand about your father. He wouldn't let us do any interesting experiments. Professor Baker's analysis of the criminal mind was solely to suppress potential criminal behavior, or to get criminals arrested. He was so stubborn in that belief of his. Baker was working with the police on the Providence cases, you know, developing a profile of the criminal, and his analysis was just too damn accurate for his own good. He knew that Providence was someone's creation, and he knew the creator had to be smart enough to keep his hands clean. Someone who excelled in criminal psychology, someone among his peers. So you killed him. Precisely. Your father consulted me before he released his results. Perhaps he wasn't entirely sure who it was at that point. But it really doesn't matter now. You sick bastard. Father might not have had you pegged as the killer. How can you say it doesn't matter? Because it doesn't. Original motive for killing Professor Baker was that he got too close to the truth. Once I decided to kill him, it became about more than just protecting myself. Killing your father gave me a brilliant idea for a fascinating experiment. An experiment? What the hell are you talking about? Growth. Child development. How would a child who had witnessed his own parents' slaughter develop? What kind of person would he become? That's insane. You know what I'm talking about now, don't you, Jay? Why you happen to survive that ordeal? Why Danny just vanished? Jay, I killed the Bakers and burned their house to the ground. You were separated from your brother on that day, and you were all alone in the world. I've been observing you very closely since then, watching how you would grow to think about crime in general. How much hatred you'd harbor for your parents as killer. I must say it's been very entertaining. And look how it turned out. You work for the FBI now. After experiencing such trauma, you actually became a criminal investigator. It's quite a bold decision for the survivor of a serial murder. Don't you see, Jay? Your entire life is the result of my experiment. And that special gift of yours to have visions of the past, too, is one of the fruits of my efforts. Fucking what? You're crazy. Maybe I am. But it's all for the knowledge of the criminal mind. Edward Rickman. You're not an affectionless psychopath, you're a hedonist. You derive pleasure from killing others. Thank you for that analysis. But in addition to that, I value myself more than reality. I'd say hedonistic, selfish, exhibitionist psychopath suits me just fine. I've granted you your final wish. So it's time to bring this experiment to a close. Wait. What's the matter, Jay? Afraid of what's on the other side? How do you expect to pin the murders on me after I'm dead? That's all I have a right to know since I'm about to be killed. Rights of the nearly killed. Fine, if you really want to know. I'll grant you the rights of the nearly killed and explain it all to you, including the final act of Providence. Edward Rickman, what are your final plans for the final act? What are your plans for the final act of Providence? Keep the truth forever hidden about 19 years ago. I'll make it look as though you were responsible for all the recent killings, and that you were using Henry to do your dirty work. I'll take credit for solving the murders and say that you tried to attack me to keep your name clean. But then I'll kill you in self-defense for a nice touch. Heh. Is that the best you can come up with? You don't like it? So I joined the FBI to avenge my father who was killed by Providence 19 years ago. But then I finally got so angry that I couldn't find the killer, that I got my boss involved to copy the original killings. You really think that the FBI is gonna buy that? Why wouldn't they? Because they already know. They know that the Providence murders are connected to the Basslock incident. If I end up dead in this hideout used by the Basslock criminals, it won't matter how good your criminal psycho babble sounds. Think of all the effort that'll be poured into investigating the connection between Providence and Basslock. All that work you did to pull off the perfect crime 19 years ago. It'll all be for nothing. Jay. Professor Gordon, if I can call you that one last time. This is very poor planning on your part. That's not like you at all. Not like me at all, is it? It's an awfully bold statement. No point in keeping it in. I'm about to die, right? I'm ashamed of myself, you know that? I looked up to you all these years and considered your advice as good as gold. But listening to you now, you're an idiot. What? Ever since I first heard him speak, I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking idiot. Even before, it was hinted at even once, it was like, dude, criminal profiling? What are you, fucking stupid? And the answer is yes. You heard me. Don't make me say it again. Fine, I'll adjust the script a little. I suppose it has to be airtight. You. I'll still make you the killer. But you'll get involved a bit differently. I'll have you kill me here on the spot. You really will be guilty of murder. What? You learn that I'm the son of Hans Rickman from the Basslock incident. Then you misjudge me as being responsible for the Providence murders. You use Henry to track me down, but since Henry drops dead before you can carry out your plan, you summon me here to an attempt to get me to confess. Then you force me to take my own life. How's that for a grand finale? It won't work. Why not? Because you have to die just to make me the killer. And there's no one left to testify that it happened like that. Oh, don't worry about that. I've already written out how I want your life to end in a notebook, which I've entrusted to a colleague. I told him that if anything happens to me, he should send that notebook to the police. It contains a complete report of what a danger to society you are. If law enforcement reads through that notebook, even the FBI will have to conclude you're guilty of murder. But this doesn't make any fucking sense. You're really fucking stupid. If you commit suicide right now, his prints aren't there will be no traces of his DNA or prints or anything on the fucking gun. Not only that, none of this makes any fucking sense. What a dumbass. This makes no goddamn sense when you think about it for a goddamn minute. Damn it. I'm fully prepared to die, Jay. But I want to make sure my death is worth something. If you're accused of murder, the truth about Providence remains covered up, and the research of a certain Edward Gordon gains worldwide attention. I'd say that's a very worthy death. Wouldn't you agree, Jay? You're fucking kidding me. He even... Freeze. I won't let you die, Gordon. It's pointless. I guess this is it. But my dear Jonathan, this is only the curtain will rise again. The intermission. He even held it up to his temple. That's the most obvious point where you would shoot yourself. What the fuck? It would be the easiest thing for anyone who would know this to be yeah, it was a fucking suicide. Jesus Christ. Oh man, the ending of this game, fell apart. Christ. Clockford police arrested Edward Gordon on suspicion of homicide in the Nicholas Baker murder. CPD Task Force has also arrested Mr. Gordon on suspicion of multiple other homicides. Clockford PD and FBI have released a joint statement regarding Mr. Gordon's arrest. 5 murders committed 19 years ago, known as the Providence murders, are now solved after years in the dark. Day after Gordon's arrest, Jay and Kate wrote a full report of their investigation into Providence murders. They placed it on their superior's desk for review. Report: Providence murders. Victim number 1, Sam Coolidge, killed February 28, 1991 in room 315 of Hotel Miranda. Cause of death: blunt force trauma to the head. Murder was carried out by Charles Smith and was instigated by Edward Rickman. Victim 2, killed March 3, 1991 in Grant Park Garage. Cause of death: gunshot wounds. The murder was carried out by Isabella Campbell and was instigated by Edward Rickman. Victim 3, Isabella Campbell, killed March 5th, 1991 in her own home. Cause of death: strangulation by rope. Murder was carried out by Duke Desmond and was instigated by Edward Rickman. Duke Desmond, killed March 6, 1991 in his office at the Desmond Real Estate Building. Cause of death: gunshot wounds. Murder was carried out directly by Edward Rickman. Motive for the killings: revenge for the murder of Hans Rickman in 1976 by perpetrators of the Baslock incident. Hans Rickman was the father of Edward Rickman, aka Edward Gordon. Victims 5 and 6. Nicholas Baker, Amy Baker, fatally shot in their own home on March 11th, 1991. Killer Edward Rickman. There's this also unanswered question of what the fuck happened to his brother? Where'd he go? Motives for killing victims 5 and 6. Victims were close to discovering Edward Rickman's crimes. S.A.J. Weaver, S.A.K. Hathaway. Oh, that's Special Agent. Did you see the newspaper this morning? Not yet. Hugo's story made the front page. Take the paper from Kate. There it is. Truth about the 34-year-old case linked to Providence murders revealed. Looks like Hugo got a story in return for his help. Yeah. I just got a phone call from Maureen. We're invited to dinner. Lane is going to, and hopefully you, right? Jay? Jay? Huh? What is it with you? You've been acting strange since Gordon's arrest. Oh. I guess bringing Gordon to justice and solving the Providence murders just isn't enough to heal those wounds, huh? They'll never heal. Jay. That's not the issue. I'm prepared to live with them. It's just... What? Since I heard Gordon confess to killing my parents in that factory, there's something I can't get out of my mind. Who is it? Danny. Gordon mentioned him that night. He said the reason he didn't kill me and Danny was for his experiment. He said he wanted to observe us as survivors of a killing spree so he'd let us live. Jay? You only want to find your brother, don't you? Yeah. Did Gordon mention if he knew where Danny is now? Even if he knew, why would he tell me? So, where are you gonna start? If I could just find out what really happened on the day he disappeared, I'd have a lead. Well, you can't. You could see what happened back then. I guess so. But you're afraid, aren't you? Maybe I am. But it's time to face my fears and find out what happened. I know you can do it, Jay. Thanks. For the first time in 19 years, I'm standing in front of that house, only to find something, anything that could offer me a clue on where Danny is. Can't count how many times I've dreamt of this house. It's time to search the place inside out for anything I can get on Danny. I'm back here again. It's been 19 years. Now I'm back at our house, to which I'd only returned in my dreams. It's not like I was in my dream. What's different? It's so run down. I wonder if I can recall the past by searching the room, like in my dream. Dad always used to sit on the sofa. Dad was drinking coffee, and Mom was choosing her favorite records and listening to them. They were always together. Dad, Mom. Hey, that's it. In my dream, I'm always looking for Danny. Danny's shoes. Yeah, in the fireplace. I have to find the shoes I hid. It was Danny's birthday. I hid his basketball shoes in the fireplace. Just a little prank? Why would I do something so stupid? Shoes. Why? Charred remains are in the fireplace. Badly damaged, but I'm sure they're Danny's. I have to check the truth from from the depths of my memory with my own eyes. Alright, there's 3. Vision of memories of the room is in my other sight. Must find a lead to Danny. That's right. Dad was really nervous that day. Was it something about his work? Maybe something in his office? Alright, where's the office? Is this the office? If I remember correctly, this was the door to Dad's office. And this is Dad's office. Mom used to yell at me whenever I played in here. Dad was always working at the desk by the window. Desk is still there. Okay. Dad's desk. Dad always used to work at this desk. I feel something. S1. Dad always used to work at his desk. Alright, sick. Sick. Dad was worried. What did he take out of the desk? According to Ed, Dad realized that Ed was Providence. Well, there's documents relating to Ed. So the visitor on that day was Ed. Okay. Mom showed Dad's work guest here. Charred sofa, it's horrible. Alright. Anything else in here? Of, like, importance? I don't fucking know. I'm gonna go back out. Couch. Parents used to sit here when we talked as a family. Where does this door lead? Door leads to the basement. Door in the basement is warped and still has burn marks on the fire. Can I, like... Okay, that works. Good. What? What? Did Ed bring oil out of the basement? Now I've seen Mom and Dad's last moments. Danny wasn't there. I have to concentrate and think back to that time. I hear a voice. Danny's calling. His voice. Where's the voice coming from? Dude, fuck if I know. How about the couch? No. Okay, I have free reign over it. Okay. Well, I have free reign. Fuck it. Okay, that worked. To be fair, there isn't much left in here to try it out on, so... Fuck it. Dad used the grit to greet guests on the sofa. And that's that asshole. Where's the gun? That's a bit rough to see. It's horrible. I got nervous with Dad asking so many questions, and so Ed shot him. Even Mom, when she came running, Ed, I'll never forgive you. And that night, the house burned down. I've collected all the fragments of the past visions. Let's trace things as they were. If truth about to be revealed. Alright, so the bottom left has to be last, because that was him doing the gasoline to burn the house down. So bottom right came before that. And the top one was him getting the document that he was showing in the bottom right. So I'm going to go top. I have to watch all this again. Again? Sure, fine. Alright, and then bottom right. Is there a way to, like, skip this? I have to sit through all this again. Oh well. Oh well. But yeah, like, dude, the fucking writing, as soon as you talk to Gordon, like, it just fell apart. Like, oh, I'm gonna blame it on you. How are you gonna do that? I'm gonna kill you. It's like, dude, no one's gonna ever fucking believe you. What are you talking about? I'll kill myself and you'll be blamed for... Dude, it's so easy to recognize that as a suicide. No one's gonna believe that. After that, like that, dude, that was bad. That was really bad. That's a shame. It's a real shame, too. Because I generally do like this game. It's just that, like, parts of it is like, oh, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Danny, where are you going? I understand now. On the night my parents were killed, passed out from all the smoke while looking for Danny. When I came to, he was gone. I only had vague memories of all that happened that night, but I saw Gordon take my brother away. Danny, where are you? This has been great. Hasn't it? I never knew you were such a fun guy. You're actually pretty fun yourself. Lane, you're actually smiling. You didn't even want to come at first. Come on, I wasn't... It's not like that. It's not like... Lane, Maureen, I just want to say thanks. Never would have solved the recent killings without the police's help. So, okay. Are we gonna find out what the fuck happened to his brother? Like, are we going to? I'm gonna say this up front. If we don't, fuck this game. If we do, it's okay, fine. Feeling is mutual, Weaver. You guys did a bang up job. Cause that's like the last big mystery. Is it gonna be solved? Should. Hell, without the feds, we would have never figured out Providence. Not too shabby for a couple of pencil pushers. Kinda makes me regret some of the things I've said about the FBI. I'll take that as a compliment. Lane, I need to get back soon. Alright, take you home. I had a great time tonight, you guys. So did I. Good night. How about another drink? Sure, I could use it. Kate? Yeah. Thanks. If you hadn't come to that factory when you did, I would have let Gordon die. When I found out you'd left the hospital, I was desperate to find you. I really didn't plan for it to turn out that way. It all happened so fast, and I ended up shooting Gordon. I'm really not that great a shot. Guess the adrenaline carried me. I don't want to go through anything like that again, you hear me? So please, don't run off like that without telling me. We're partners, right? Right. Well, I better get home now. Need a ride? Nah, I'm fine. Just don't drink yourself to death. Kate leaves and I go back to the bar. I have a double whiskey on the rocks. Savor my last drink of the night. The amber liquid burns as it goes down. It's like the depression, fear, everything I've struggled with me for the past 19 years. Jay? That voice, no! Gordon might be gone, but there will be more Providence Measures. What? Is this trying to set up for a sequel that never happened? Come the fuck on. That's what it is. It's a sequel that never happened. Fuck. That's arguably worse. Because Sing got shut down. Well, at least Hotel Dusk got a sequel. That's the one that matters. At the very least. At least Last Window was great. That game is good, man.